Hi, this is Liz Coley, and welcome back to Undercover Reading. We're in the middle of The Captain's Kid, Chapter 7, A Birthday to Remember, Part 4. Brandon has just been whacked on the head. I came to, bound hand and foot. No gravity, and it was freezing. I was still on Hub D. My head ached as if I'd been smashed over the head with a blunt object. No surprise there. But this wasn't a corridor. I'd been shoved inside a vacant crew room. I struggled uselessly with my bonds. Nothing gave except my skin, so I scooted up against a wall, got myself into a stable, braced position, and prepared to wait. My stomach growled. "How can you think of food at a time like this?" I asked my body. "So you're finally awake." The voice was unfamiliar. Of course, I'd never heard him speak, but the face... "Damn it," I groaned. "You know, I just wrote you off my list of suspects." A tiny smile creased the corner of River Swift's mouth. "So he did have facial expressions after all, huh?" "Thank you," he said with a touch of irony. "However, it was your probing around in my records that alerted me. I had better speed things up. You cooperated perfectly." A terrifying thought hit me harder than that pipe. "Where's Audrey? How did you get her to lure me here?" He dangled a watch comm in front of my eyes. My injured brain connected the dots. "Blast it, I thought that message didn't sound like her." "Where's the real Audrey?" He pointed to one of the bedroom doors. "You bastard! If you hurt her, if you've touched a hair on her head, I'll... River Swift's face darkened. "What do you think I am, uncivilized? She's fine. Just sleeping off a big sniff of knockout." "What are you going to do with us?" Maybe I could get him monologuing, stall while I figured something out. "What's your plan this time?" His lips puckered like he'd eaten a lemon when I said this time. "I'll be sending the captain a ransom note. Reverse course immediately, and you two will be released in 3 weeks upon our arrival at Earth." "That's extortion, not ransom," I said, "and your last threat didn't stop him." Riverswift squatted in front of me, just out of reach. "I believe I'm a good judge of character. As willing as he seems to sacrifice his own son, I doubt he'll sacrifice someone else's daughter." Dang, he might be right. "He'll find us," I warned. "He'll comb every inch of this ship. And don't think you know my dad. He even put a special security detail on me in case this happened. In fact, he probably knows where I am right now." At that, Riverswift gave a bark of laughter, seriously unexpected. "Oh, Brandon! I am your security detail, and I will comb every inch of this ship. I predict, however, that I'll have to report that sadly I was unable to find you." Oh, dang. My stomach growled again. "Are you planning to feed the hostages?" I asked. "I skipped breakfast for this fabulous date I imagined we'd be having. Imagine my disappointment." He raised his eyebrows at me. "Personality?" "Yes, fine. You'll stay put, won't you?" I didn't answer. That way I wouldn't be lying. He checked the knots on the ropes around my feet. "Yes, I believe you will." As soon as the door was closed, I glided myself toward the room where he was keeping Audrey. Opening the door handle with my hands tied behind my back in 0G was a trick I hope never to repeat. By the time the latch gave way and I swung into the room, all my injuries were throbbing like crazy, but thoughts of my own pain vanished when I reached her. Audrey was lying on the floor, tethered to the legs of the bed so she wouldn't float away when she stirred. Her hands and feet were as tightly tied as mine. Her hair floated above her, swirling in the air currents of the room. Her face was pale and peaceful. "Audrey," I whispered. "Audrey, can you wake up?" I poked her gently at first, then harder. We didn't have much time. "Audrey?" Her eyes flicked open, and she twisted her head around in confusion. "Why am I tied up? Brandon Webb, is this your idea of a kinky joke?" "Oh my gosh, no, I didn't. No." "Explain this then. I came up here to meet you. You grabbed me from behind. You stuck something over my face, and the next thing I know, I'm all trussed up here." She flailed at her ropes and bounced. "Look at me, Audrey." She stared me in the eye and then let her gaze drift down to my tied feet. "Oh." "I came here to meet you, supposedly. The next thing I knew, River Swift clunked me on the head and tied me up too." So you know who did it? I sighed. I've run into him before. I figured he was one of us, one of the good guys, and as you can see, I figured wrong. You're bleeding again, Audrey said. I am? There's a big cut over your eyebrow. Made sense. That's where the pounding headache was coming from. River Swift fooled us both, and now he's threatening Dad. Look, we don't have much time to figure out what to do. He went to get me food. Food at a time like this? I frowned. Audrey, it was a diversion. Oh, thank you, Brandon, she said. Then she smiled hugely at me. My heart melted and my brain fried. Thank you? For what? For not saying I told you so. For not being mad at me for getting trapped right after I said I didn't care about the risk. That was tempting fate, wasn't it? I said with as much irony as I could muster. But I'm glad you're here. You are? She asked sweetly. Yeah, I am, because you've got teeth. See if you can loosen these cords, will you? I turned around and held my bound wrists where she could get at them. My bruised shoulders screamed, but all that faded away when I felt her lips and tongue working the knot. Hey, that tickles. Excuse me, she mumbled around a mouthful of cord. She spit out the knot. I don't think I'm getting anywhere. No dexterity. I tugged at the cord. No, you are. I think the moisture is making the rope stretchier. Can you wet down the rest of it? Are you sure? I've never spit all over someone before. It seems kind of personal, don't you think? I had to laugh. Don't mind a bit. Not if it gets us out of here. Now salivate like crazy. I'm counting on you. Audrey made swishing noises in her cheeks. Judging from the hot, sticky goop all over my wrists, it was working. The cord stretched. I wriggled, and finally my spit-slicked hands slid free of the soaked cord. Without hesitating, I untied my feet and rolled my ankles. That was better. Hey, what about me? Audrey demanded. I untied the ropes that tethered her to the bed frame, but not the ones around her hands and feet. If you can hang on like this for a little longer, I have a cunning plan. Really? Tell me. Her smile widened as I told. And you're going to have to come back for the next episode to see what the cunning plan is. See you next time.